You're up here, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the retirement ceremony for Master Sergeant Bradley Moore. I'm Master Sergeant Jason Lyons, and I'll be the MC for today's event. The military retirement ceremony is a time-honored tradition to recognize the years of service a military member devoted to the defense of their country. Today, the men and women of the 49th Logistics Readiness Squadron and the Fuels Management Flight pay special tribute to Master Sergeant Moore in honor of his retirement from active duty and his 23 years of distinguished service to the United States Air Force. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is the commander for the 49th Hunt Squadron, Holloman Air Force Base, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Schultz. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthem by First Lieutenant Adieye.
Present the colors.
Stand by. Colors. Attention. Hunt. Right shoulder. Arms. Spade check. Up. Colors. Ready. Cut. Ready. Step. Raise and arms.
Can I get a round of applause for the honor guard detail and First Lieutenant Moore? Please be seated. At this time, I would like to take a moment and recognize Master Sergeant Moore's distinguished visitors and special guests that are with us today. Presiding Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Schultz and his wife, Olivia. '49 CPTS WSA Leadership, Senior Master Sergeant Barry and Master Sergeant Wells. And the 49th Logistics Readiness Squadron First Sergeant, Senior Master Sergeant Farrell. And finally, his lovely wife Sarah, sons Justin, Joshua, and Aiden, and daughter Rosalie. It is now my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer for today's event, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Schultz. Sir, the stage is yours.
Brad knows I'm a man of few words. Not so much. For today's event, I thought I could tap dance and go off of memory after reading his long career. So let's be real, it's a long time. So it's a long time that he served. So in honor, Brad, of your 23 years of distinguished service, I want to let you know I prepped a 23-page speech. I turned out left, boss. Hiding, there it is. I've got a 23-page speech here, and I ask everybody to basically sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and we'll see where this goes from here. The good news is it is 23-point font, so it shouldn't take as long as we think. Okay? For the purpose of this, I'll stand behind here, although I do tend to like to walk around. For those that know me, obviously, I better stick to the script so that you all get out of here so Brad can start that next chapter with his family. But I am excited to be here, absolutely excited on this day, to a certain extent, for Brad and his family. And as many of us have known and seen, that retirement day comes and goes for quite a few people. And it doesn't really hit you until the day of, and when it hits you. And after terminal anyway, then you're a free man. Don't get any sleep tomorrow, okay?
Ain't happening. I literally got 75 days.
There you go. Be smart in it, okay? Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Do I need to be like this? That sounds weird. All right. All right, what a great day. The sun is shining. Still is, that's good. I was gambling. But out here in Holloman, we're okay. We can gamble that the weather will be pretty fantastic. Weather couldn't be better. We keep our thoughts on the celebration of Brad and his family, while also remembering the humbling events which this weekend is celebrated across the world. Retirement events never happen on their own. So many unsung heroes that pull together an event like today's ceremony. Thank you to every person that has had a hand in this event that I failed to mention here in a moment. If the list of those folks is long, I blame you, Brad. My hat's off to the narrator, Mess Sergeant Lyons, the proffer, Sergeant Gaddy, escort, Senior Airman Foucher, Airman First Class Heinrich. A huge heck yeah to the POL Honor Guard, posting the colors. Thanks Senior Airman Majangos and Green and Airman First Class Bunton. And how about that national anthem? Way to go, Lieutenant. Aye, I'm way off, but that's okay. Not English. Obviously, good to see you, Sarah, Justin, Josh, Aiden, and Rosalie. I know you're all excited to see Dad complete one heck of a chapter in life as you all begin the next. Ron and Roseanne, thank you for being here today. I know you're proud. It would not be a family event if we didn't have some siblings. So welcome to you, Claire, who traveled from Cruces, if I'm not mistaken, and Matthew from right here in Allen. To the LRS leadership team, Lieutenant Colonel Wright, They must have been busy, overcome by events, that's okay. Senior Farrell. Welcome and thanks for taking time out of your busy day here supporting one of your Doc, nice to see you over there. To my own leadership team, Senior Barry and Shirt Wells, thanks for being here today too. Wouldn't be right if I didn't give you a second shout out. There we go. Come on, get your report card out. Of course, my bride Olivia, trying to get her to turn red. Not working, she's used to it. All right. So those that don't know, I'm the comptroller here at Holloman. What's a comptroller? A sweet sounding title in my opinion, but I'm actually in charge of all the money on the base. Besides being the money guy, I'm also blessed to be a squadron commander for the comptroller squadron and the wing staff agencies. That's where Brad and I have crossed paths. He's currently assigned to the wing plans and programs office, and I get to be his commander. Well, for just a little bit longer. See, hiding over there with flags in the way. That's all right. Brad hit me up months ago with this honor to preside over his ceremony, and frankly, it blew me away. I did not show him the excitement, though, because I did not want his head to get any bigger. You'll see what I mean as I navigate through his career. Did you move? No, flag stop for a second. Brad Moore. Brad Moore, where do I start? I tell you what, let's shoot back 23 years, a place where many of us started, leaving high school and heading out to tackle the world. So there you were, a fine young man, done with school, so you thought. And in June of 1999, you raised your hand out of Tennessee and stated, "So help me God." You headed to basic and tech school, and from there you went to your first duty station, Seymour Johnson. I reviewed your record and found no proof that you actually went there. I'm a trusting individual and have no reason to doubt you. After a whopping 16 months there, you found your ticket across the pond. As they gave you the boot out of the Carolinas, you headed off to the only country that looks like a boot, Aviano Air Base, Italy. Lucky. As a young fuels journeyman, you hit the ground running. I read through the EPRs, and boy, has the format on those things changed. Looking for some seasoned folks in the room. Your very first EPR all marks to the right, and this sets the stage for your performance over the next 23 years. Your record there was full of comments like Airman of the Month, promote ahead of peers, promote immediately, promote now. You picked up Senior Airman there and ended it with a nod towards Staff Sergeant. Not bad for a first real assignment. Work is work, we get it, but all the EPRs there, the line that jumped out to me was, possesses the character traits to be a good leader. I think they saw something on you early on. So where do you go in the Air Force if you cannot find your bride in all of Italy? To the land of enchantment, right here in sunny Alamogordo. It's here where you met your bride Sarah and picked up an extra hobby or two. Along came 3 blessings for the 2 of you, as your family grew with Justin, Josh, and Aiden. While here, you performed ahead of your peers as a young staff sergeant. While getting marched to the right, year over year, your performance record read things like led, corrected, initiated, energetic, NCO. It also humbly stated Operation Iraqi Freedom, Toledo Air Base, Operation Agile Lion. I also noted on the inspection side of things that you were always ready. 0 findings during headquarters SADs. You must hide things very well.
Good at it.
Wing solid rating, 0 safety mishaps. No wonder you were selected to assist the stand eval team as a staff sergeant. As if your plate was not full already, you started tackling your higher education. See, told you weren't done with school. With deployment, inspections, schooling, and family life all in balance, it's no wonder you were a huge piece to LRS winning the MSG Large Unit Squadron of the Year back in 2006. Okay, let me put something in perspective. While Brad was out here crushing it in sunny Holloman, I was going through 4 years of school up in Colorado. Interesting to see where our careers take us. Life was good in 2006. In fact, life was so good you decided Holloman is a place to be, so you cleared your assignment dream sheet. You loved it here and wanted to stay. Well, the Air Force read that blank sheet as you're willing to go anywhere, and the needs of the Air Force got you. Off to Korea you went. During your short stint in Korea as a fuel distribution supervisor, you ensured the teams knew who was in the house. Outstanding SAV rating for both vehicles and safety, excellent rating on compliance evaluation, wing rated excellent for UCI. You even raised money for the fallen, all in a year. I bet it went quick. Good things come out of Korea assignments, and that's mostly your follow-on assignment. With bride in hand and family in tow, it was back to Italy you go. Only a couple years back in Italy, your mark. Only a couple years back in Italy, to leave your mark, you kept your personal drive alive. You'd had enough of the staff sergeant gig and secured tech, arguably still the hardest rank to make. You kept education going and earned your CCAF. You signed yourself up to be an MSF instructor and mentor, keeping our motorcycle riders safe, all while still crushing the work front. I read things like 0 SAV findings, best seen to date, flawless and 9 no-notice evals, and flawless end-of-year closeout. As an FMer, end-of-year closeout, now you have my attention. Brad, you seem to be a guy who repeats things that he likes, because after your time in Italy, you went back to Korea. Luckily, it was only for a short tour, and you did what you needed to do, so you could get linked back up with the family. While at Daegu Air Base, you helped the wing to excellent rating, lauded by the safety group as best seen to date. Squadron won the Logistics Effectiveness Award, first in DoD for 2012, end-of-year closeout again. You got my attention. And finally, you were named the 7th Air Force Fuels NCO of the Year. Way to go, Brad. As the Air Force took notice to the big rocks you were able to move in your career, they sent you to none other than Little Rock. In Arkansas, of course. It was here that your next blessing arrived, Rosalie. But that did not slow down Brad Moore. Your performance at Little Rock bled words like Ambassador in Blue, We Go Together ethos, and make a senior NCO. It's no wonder you earned the promotion to Master Sergeant. Your momentum never slowed. Fuels Flight, Best in Air Force, NCO of the Year, and Senior NCO of the Quarter twice. And you guessed it, Senior NCO of the Year. Oh yeah, and tons of movement on the education front. 87 credits toward the bachelor's degree, if I counted correctly. What's next for the Moore family after the rock? Consider where he is from, when they are at the moment, and where they should head. I recall a rhyme as a kid. It's the fun stuff here. Goes like this. Hey Brad, what did Tennessee? He saw what Arkansas. Where do you want to go next? Dunno, but Alaska. That's right. It was off to Alaska. See, it took my shirt a minute, but that's all right. He got it. I got the chuckle. Or you just can't believe I did that, can you? There we go. That's right. It was off to Alaska, where he would crush expectations at Eielson Air Force Base. In another 4-year wave, Brad put his stamp of approval on things. As the section chief for the Air Force's largest fuel depot, Brad aced the Air Force's fuel inventory audit, enabled F-35 testing and arrival, and even helped bring back the Wings air show that was absent for over 10 years. He also managed to deploy twice in this time frame to Tunisia as the LRS superintendent and to another undisclosed location, filling a major's billet as the Inspector General for the Director of Inspections. Based on your credentials and performance with the past inspections, I'd say you were more than qualified. We are often reminded of how small the Air Force is, and Brad, I noted one name as a signature on your performance report from Alaska, Major Mike Harvey, who is a fellow FMer. You must have known that money makes things happen. I see you getting close to the purse string. For those that don't know, Mike and I have known each other since we were lieutenants and have been fast friends for a long time. Brad, I trust that good old Harvey treated you well. As for the winning mantra that fills your record, the same continued during your time there, except you were finally in a position to influence the winning theme for others. You helped your subordinates with below the zones, quarterlies, annual awards, team awards, the list goes on.
In my humble opinion as the squadron commander, that's what we like to see. Airmen taking care of airmen. I'd be off my narrative this afternoon if I did not get back to where I highlighted that Brad likes to repeat things he enjoys. And that is why after 4 years in Alaska, you returned your family home. Right here, right back here in the land of enchantment, the base of the 49ers, but go Cowboys. I like to think that when you know, you know, and despite the love and passion you have for the Air Force, you and your family have decided to end one chapter and begin the next. Brad, as I stand here as your commander, I want you to know that it seems like yesterday when you walked into the office, sat in the chair, ready to take the role on as a first sergeant and asked me, "What do you need, boss?" I knew at that moment you had my back and that you were all in. Your time under my leadership has been short, but the memories will be everlasting. I noted on your final performance report the words, "Senior Master Sergeant this cycle." I have all the confidence in the world that you'd make it, but I guess we'll never know. I reached out to your most recent logistics leadership and would like to share a few words from Senior Master Sergeant Singleton, who's currently deployed. Good afternoon from MSgt. In my experience with Master Sergeant Brad Moore, I would not actually call him POL to the core. However, he is an airman to the core. Yes, he loves POL and everything we do, but his love of the Air Force, and especially airmen, is what motivates him. He has never been a senior NCO to say no. He is always giving of himself by filling in as a first sergeant, cross-training into IG where he coordinated and ran exercises that impacted the Air Force beyond the wings where he served, or giving of himself by volunteering to fill superintendent position in XP that was vacant for months and was likely to be a real challenge. Hit it. None of the positions had to be filled by Brad, but he saw the Air Force needed help and he was all too eager to give of himself. Of course, I would be remiss if I failed to mention that he has been instrumental in teaching a large number of airmen that the word "however" must be followed by a comma. This is what I think of when I think of Master Sergeant Moore. The Air Force is losing a great senior NCO today. Now it's me. Back to me, okay. That was a quote. That was a long quote. All right. Brad, you've had one heck of a career, and I'm blessed to have gotten to know you and Sarah and Justin, Josh, Aiden, and Rosalie, and look forward to staying in the touch in the future. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I have no doubt you will turn to gold what you touch. You would have thought that Bradley Moore out of Tennessee would have made a career out of kicking ass and storing gas. Way to go, brother. Congrats and Godspeed. See, it wasn't 23 pages. That was easy.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Schultz. The Meritorious Service Medal was established by Executive Order 11448 on January 16, 1969. It may be awarded to any member of the Armed Forces of the United States who distinguishes themselves by either outstanding achievement or meritorious service to the United States. This award was established as the counterpart of the Bronze Star Medal for the recognition of meritorious non-combat service. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. Master Sergeant Bradley L. Moore distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Superintendent Plans and Programs, 49th Wing, Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico. From 24 September 2020 to 30 June 2022. During this period, Sergeant Moore directed base fuel operations consisting of 5 sections and 43 personnel, while overseeing the delivery of of 2.2 million gallons of fuel in support of 2,400 sorties, powering the Air Force's largest formal pilot training unit. Additionally, Sergeant Moore's leadership was pivotal in organizing and leading the wing's first cryogenic tank conversion, saving the Air Force $91,000. His team authored the blueprint for 3,000 airmen across the fuel's career field and spurred a technical data rewrite from higher headquarters. Furthermore, Sergeant Moore's expertise was key in managing the wing's crisis action team during Operation Allies Welcome, where he oversaw 7 personnel and liaised with Task Force Holloman, thus enabling support for 6,000 members, while also directing support for a United States Army exercise, which catapulted an initial weapon system test for a newly instituted $555 million platform. Finally, his skills and work ethic led to his selection as the Air Education and Training Command Plans and Programs Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, Group Lance P. Saijon nominee, and 49th Wing's Lou Allen Award winner for 2021. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Moore culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the publishing of retirement orders. Attention to orders. By order of the Secretary of the Air Force, Special Order AC 000404, Master Sergeant Bradley Moore is relieved from active duty, 49th Wing, Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico, effective 1 July 2022, and is hereby directed to proceed to his home of selection. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. In honor of Master Sergeant Moore's retirement, we have a special certificate to present from the President of the United States. Certificate of Appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Sergeant Bradley L. Moore. I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country, your bravery and dedication in our armed forces, helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embodied the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you will set inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Jr., Commander-in-Chief. When retiring from active duty, the individual is presented a special certificate of retirement to commemorate their active duty career. It reads as follows: Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see this presence, greetings. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Bradley L. Moore, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of July 2022. Signed, Ryan P. Keeney, Commander, 49th Air Base Wing. Signed, Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff. Additionally, Master Sergeant Moore is presented with a special certificate from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, which reads as follows: Certificate of Appreciation. I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Bradley L. Moore, the achievements and the contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all the airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and the new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Today's ceremony would not be possible without the support of family and the significant contributions and sacrifices they make. In particular, the military spouse. The Air Force deeply appreciates the supportive role you've taken in Brad's distinguished career and acknowledges your faithful service by presentation of a certificate of appreciation from General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. Sarah, please come forward. Mrs. Moore is presented with a special certificate which reads as follows: Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Sarah Moore for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, Ryan P. Keeney, Commander 49th Air Base Wing. Signed, Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff. Additionally, Mrs. Moore is presented with a special certificate from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, which reads as follows: Certificate of Appreciation. On behalf of all the Air Force airmen and their families, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents this certificate of appreciation to Sarah Moore. I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for your numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. Mrs. Moore, please place this pin on your husband's left lapel to symbolize his transition from active duty to retired status.
Don't do it.
At this time, Brad would like to present a spouse pin to you to symbolize your transition from active duty spouse to retired spouse. Now, Master Sergeant Moore will present his family with a special gift to show his gratitude for their dedication during his 23 years of service. Sarah, the floor is yours.
So, although we are not together when you started your Air Force journey, we have been a team for the better part of it. We've grown together as you went from a young staff sergeant to a master sergeant. I'm so proud to say that you are my husband and my partner in crime. I have watched as you have taken on many different jobs within the Air Force, from deploying with security forces to being a UDM to working with the IG to being a stand-in for the shirt to even a stand-in for a senior. No matter the job you were given, you gave 110%. You always tried to leave the job better than when you started. In my opinion, you excelled at it. One example I can think of is how you took on the IG position and worked to produce and put on an exercise that not only involved was not one of the normal tasks, but something you came up with and orchestrated, even if it really was just so you could go out and play in the snow. You not only have done your job in the Air Force, you took on college at the same time. Even in your master's classes, you, for the most part, maintained your 4.0. Show off. Ever since I met you, you have been a hard-working, smart, and driven. Your military career has allowed us to see parts of the world that would have never seen, from Italy to Arkansas to Alaska. Even if Alaska was on my do not go list. Because of you, I have been given the opportunity to stay home with our kids. You have provided for all of us for the last 17 years, and for that, I'm grateful. Lastly, but not least, there is something missing here, or someone missing here today. Since he cannot be here to do it himself, I wanted to remind you of how proud you made him. From the family that we have created, to the rank that you hold, the master's degree you earned, he was, and still is, so proud of you, as am I. I could not think of a better father and role model for our kids. I love you, and look forward to what is coming next in our crazy journey called life.
Thank you, sir. At this time, the Honor Guard team will perform a flag-holding ceremony in honor of Master Sergeant Moore's career. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been a symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor the flag that we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedoms that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinct fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on land and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we, as Americans, enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave.
Master Sergeant Moore, 49 Division Civilian Squad, your friends and your family. Present this flag in recognition of 23 years of service to the United States Air Force.
Let's give a round of applause. On behalf of the Fuels Management Flight, Master Sergeant Lee, will you please come forward? Master Sergeant Lee will now present a gift to Master Sergeant Moore from the Fuels Management Flight. And he's never seen it before until now.
She has.
So Moore, on behalf of the 49th Fuels Management Flight, we'd like to congratulate you on your retirement, 23 years, and a solid, well-deserved. So let me read the plaque. On behalf of the 49th Fuels Management Flight, we thank you for your 23 years of service and to POL and to the United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Brad, however, Moore.
It's so true. Oh my God. However,
We'll keep the light on for you.
Thank
Thank you, Sergeant Lee, and the Fuels Management Flight. Who the hell? Master Sergeant Moore's children would now like to present him with a special gift.
One, two, three.
Justin, Joshua, Aiden, and Rosalie. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Sergeant Bradley L. Moore, retired.
I'll try to keep this not my normal self. Those who do know me very well. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone in attendance. My career would not be where it's at without each and every one of you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Sarah, you, the kids. I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for you guys. You have held the house down while I worked those long hours, while I did my degrees, while I did this, went on 2 short tours, went on multiple deployments. If it were not for you, I would not be standing here right now. That's 100%. Thank you. Ron, Roseanne, said it goes for you guys. You guys have been a blessing. From the first time we were here to this time. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Claire and Matthew, same to you guys. Bethany, same for you. One thing I want to leave you guys today is, I thought about this. Probably not as long as hard as I probably should have, but I have. It's one of those things you never thought this day would come, right? Like, you know it's coming, but you never think that, oh, hey, yeah. The one thing I want to leave and impart is redemption. Alright? When I was a young airman, if I'd have been my supervisor, I'd have fucking voted me out the door a long time ago. 1,000%. Wouldn't even bat an eye. I know what kind of airman I was. I had people that believed in me. Just like Colonel was saying earlier with my EPRs, I had great mentors who took me to the side. But Brad, this is what you need to do. You can't say this, but however, say this. One of those individuals, Josh Fry, retired Senior Master Sergeant. One of the greatest men I know. William Crouch, retired Master Sergeant, same thing. Mike Sanders, same thing. 3 of the greatest people I'm honored to call friends. Shirts, y'all have taught me the same thing. Coming here, filling in for each of you. I greatly appreciate the opportunities that y'all afforded me to do that. That's one thing I love doing, is helping my airmen, helping our airmen, helping our NCOs, family members, whoever needs it. That is the one thing I believe that's really going to hurt me the most about doing this today, is I don't get to do that no more for you guys. When it comes to redemption, afford the opportunities to those who make mistakes. It's not a one mistake Air Force. Don't make it like that. Alright? Let people be people. We're humans. We err. Alright? Had someone not let me be human, I wouldn't be here. Just saying. So before you think about, oh, that he's done. No. Give him chances. I'm not saying give him 1,000 chances, but you know where that line is. Don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick in haste. And that goes for anything in life. Not even just those who work for you, work with you, people in general. Okay? One last thing, Dad. I know you're with us today. For those who don't know, I lost my father last June. This is the one thing he always talked about, was being here today. This morning, Sarah was out here in one of the shirts. We washed that thing 100 times. When she ironed it this morning, it smelled just like his house. And the first thing I heard as soon as I woke up, she's like, this shirt smells just like his house. I think it's because he's with us today. This is the one thing. I'm a 4th generation military member. This is the one thing that my father wanted to see more than anything. He wasn't there for my wedding. He wasn't there for none of the kids. He was like, come hell or high water, I'm going to be there for it. He's here. So, appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of Holloman Air Force Base are proud to have served with Master Sergeant Moore and wish him and his family much happiness and success in the future. Please stand and join me in the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here it comes from the clean our thunder, and down, give it the gun.
Give her the gun!
Down the guys, spouting our flame from under, off the one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we'll go down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. This concludes the formal portion of our ceremony. Thank you for attending. Please join us inside for refreshments and to congratulate retired Master Sergeant Moore and his family.